Hi friends, my name is Jeanette and I want to thank you for joining me today. Today I thought we would do a rapid fire book tag which would allow you to get to know me a little bit and my reading preferences. So I'm just going to jump right in. The first question is ebook or physical books? While I have physical books, obviously you can see a few of them, I prefer my ebook reader. I have a Kindle. I got my very first Kindle in 2011. I had the Kindle keyboards, fairly old, but I used it all the time. It lasted me great. It was starting to get really slow, so I decided to replace it just this past Christmas. I purchased a Kindle Oasis and I absolutely love it. However, I will buy a physical book if it's from my favorite author, a book that I absolutely loved, or I found it for a reasonable price and couldn't pass it up. So question number 2 is paperback or hardcover? I prefer paperbacks. I don't like the weight of a hardcover book. After reading with my Kindle, majority of the time, a paperback's much easier to hold. Number 3, online or in-store shopping. Because I have a Kindle, I do a majority of my book shopping online at Amazon. However, I love to go in-store book shopping and just kind of browse, see things, what I want, get ideas. So I will see a book and be like, I need to add that to my wish list. Oh, I can't wait, I gotta get this now. Question number 4 is trilogies or series? This one's difficult because anything over one book, I'm in for. I'm not a huge fan of standalones. I like the characters. I like continuing on. Once I get to know somebody, I want to spend more time with them. However, I hate having to wait for new books to be released in between a series. So majority of the time, if I've read book 1, it's because I couldn't wait, and then book 3 comes out, I will read book 1, book 2, and then book 3 again, so that I'm reading them consecutively and together, and everything's still fresh in my mind, and I can spend more time with the characters. Or on the other spectrum, I will wait and not start book 1 until book 4 comes out. For example, Danger Never Releases by Lynette Eason book 1 came out in 2020, and then book 4 came out at the end of 21. I did not read book 4, I did not read the series until February of this year when I had all 4 books and I could read them back to back, because I don't like starting and then not getting to spend more time with the characters. Question number 5 is heroes or villains? Heroes. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. Question number 6, a book you want everyone to read. I'm going to say No Ocean Too Wide by Carrie Ternasky. I think that's how you say her name. This book was released in 2019, pretty sure. I absolutely love this book. I had never read anything by this author before, and it took me by surprise. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. I absolutely loved it. I have recommended it to my mom. I've recommended it to a couple friends, and I'm on the look to get a physical copy of it because I will reread it. Now, I did find out after, once I got to the end of the book, that it is book 1 of 2 books. I have not read book 2 yet, and I can't wait to read book 2. But I will obviously reread book 1 when I do get book 2, so I can read 1 and 2 together. Number 7 is recommended an underrated book. What's an underrated book? Something somebody doesn't talk about, or not sure. So I don't really have because I don't know what an underrated book is. Because just because I haven't heard somebody talk about it doesn't mean, yeah. So I don't know. Okay, question number 8 is the last book you finished. The last book I finished was called Safe in His Arms by Melanie D. Sniker. I think that's how you say her name. I was unsure about this book. I got this free on my Kindle, and it looked good, looked interesting. I was like, oh, let's try it, why not? And then it fit one of the challenges I was doing for the year, which is read a book with a body part in the title. And this one had arms. So that's why I decided, well, let's read it now. And I am so glad I did. I really enjoyed it. It took me by surprise. I didn't expect to enjoy it as much. I mean, it was a free Kindle book. I don't always find those are, you know, yeah. But I really liked it. And even like when I put it down between chapters, like breaks from reading, I kept thinking about it like, what's going to happen with so and so? So I do have a full review posted on my blog. Number 9 is The Last Book You Bought. Okay, this is a funny story. So last weekend, I was at Value Village just looking at their book section, and I came across this book by Terry Blackstock called Distortion. Okay, and I love Terry Blackstock, and I want to own all her books. I have read this book. Last I read it was in 2015, and it's on my list to reread soon. Hopefully this year I can read this series again. This is book 2 of the Moonlighter series. Yes, Moonlighter series. But what is so funny about this book is, so I picked this up at Goodwill just last weekend. Then I came, because I'm like, I know this is on my to purchase list that I didn't have a copy of it. I came home and looked at my shelves and I was like, oh, oops, because I do have a copy of it. I placed a book outlet order just the end of January, beginning of February, and I got this book then because it was on my to purchase list. So now I have 2 copies. So the last 2 books I bought was this one and this one. Oops. So my mom is getting a copy. Number 10 is the weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark. I had to pull this book because I knew it was here. It is like part of the lid of a Tetley box. And it's also a coupon. I know you won't really be able to see that, but it is a coupon. But it's it's a piece of cardboard. This coupon actually expired December 31st, 2009. And I've used it as a bookmark. It's been in different books, but it's been in this book for a while. I'm not going to talk about this book. Someday I may address it. Not sure. Number 11. Do you buy used books? Yes or no? Well, obviously, I bought that book at Value Village, so yes, I am okay for used books. I'm fussy about it, though, because they have to look in good condition. I don't like beat-up books. Number 12. So your top 3 favorite genres. I mainly read Christian fiction. I do read some secular or clean fiction, but mainly Christian fiction. So my top 3 are mystery and suspense, obviously Terry Blackstock, Linnaeism, contemporary romance, and historical romance. Those would probably be my top 3 genres that I read the most of. Mystery and suspense being number 1. Number 13, borrow or buy. Majority of the time, I buy. I don't know the last time I've been in our library, but our library does not have a huge Christian fiction selection. I do borrow from friends, or my mom, but majority of the time I buy my books. Question number 14 is characters or plot. Characters with a good plot line. I love characters, as it's obvious in the series, getting to know people, but it has to be a plot that keeps you engaged, right? Just because the character is good. If they're doing, they're sitting around watching TV, I don't know, do something really boring, that's not going to keep me engaged, right? hence the mystery suspense being my favorite. So question number 15 is long or short books. Probably more long books. I am not a fan of novellas. I see a novella and it's like, do I really want to read that? It doesn't give you enough of the characters. You don't get to know them enough. It's not my preference. I will read them, but it's just not my preference. I prefer to read like a full-length novel. Number 16, long or short chapters. Short chapters. If I see on my Kindle that the next chapter is going to take me 20, 25 minutes, 30 minutes, that's just like, are you serious? You couldn't put a break in between there. But I mainly read at night, so then I'm kind of like, oh, I can just read one more chapter. Oh, it's only 5 minutes. I can read one more chapter. No big deal. Now, good, bad, I don't know. Number 17, the first 3 books you think of. Fifth Avenue Story Society by Rachel Hawk. 5 Days in Sky by Carla Lorando. I might not be saying her name right. And If I Run by Terry Blackstock. Those are probably 3 of my very favorite books. Books I have on my list to reread this year. Number 18. Books that make you laugh or cry. I think I prefer books that make me laugh. I don't get very emotional through books though, and I kind of, yeah, I think laugh. Number 19, Our World or Fictional World. I am not into sci-fi. I'm not into fantasy. Not into fairy tales, that kind of stuff. So I want settings in our world, but in a fictional setting. Doesn't have to be like real life stuff. Number 20, audiobooks, yes or no? No. I've never listened to an audiobook. I don't plan on listening to an audiobook. I would rather sit and read it. Number 21, do you ever judge a book by its cover? Yes, very much. Yeah. Number 22, books to movie or book to TV adaptation. I think my preference would be book to TV adaptation. Again, I'm a series. Give me the characters. Give me a length. A book to movie is short. It's like, that's one 2 hour thing, whereas a TV series can be seasons, right? Yeah, that's definitely my preference. However, I cannot think of any that I've actually watched. So question number 23 is a movie or a TV show that you prefer to its book. I cannot think of any that I've watched the movie and read the book, or watched the TV show and read the book. I know of a couple where I've read one, like done the other, right? Like not both. I can think of one movie, I'm not going to mention it though. I can think of one movie that was based on a book and it made me not want to read the book. Question number 24 is the last question. Series or standalones? Well, I think you know my preference from the previous ones, that definitely series. Give me a series. I just love the characters. So I want to thank you for joining me today, and I hope that just gave you a little bit insight of what I like to read. Get to know me just a little bit. I look forward to joining this community, getting to know you, and sharing the books that I love and talking about books with all of you. Okay, have a great day. Thank you. Bye.